Hello everyone, welcome to Noble Creative Tutorials. Today we have a new motion graphics tutorial in our series and I will show you how to create a 3D glitch logo reveal in Adobe After Effects without using any third-party plugins. So create your composition and let's get started. So after creating your composition, as you see in my comp, I have this logo holder here and it's just got a logo inside of it. So let's back to the main comp and then apply fill effects and let's make these white. And I'm going to apply seed matte effects and here take matte from the same layer here or the same comp, and then I'm going to invert this, and as you see we got something like this. There is outlines but we can't see much of it, so I'm going to apply sample choker and set this sample choker just before the seed map and just put around 10. So now we can see the outline here and it got transparency on it. And the idea now is I want to animate this outline, so just a simple animation. So I'm going to keyframe this invert matte. So as you see here, we got it fill or the outline. So hit U to reveal that keyframe, and just before 1 second, I want to add a fill there, and a few frames before it, I want there to be actual seed matte. So it's going to hold for a while and then change to the fill. So here, I'm going to first put this to just fill, so something like this, and doing the same thing for around 2 seconds there. So want it to have fill and then just maybe around, just around 15 frames, and before 4 seconds we want doing the same here, just inverting that. So maybe here we want 20 frames. So let's preview to see how this looks like. Okay, just something like this as you see here. And let's pre-compose this and let's rename this logo animation 01 and move all attributes and hit OK. But first, before that, let's actually open this one and hit U here, and then what I'm going to do, I want to add markers here just so I can know where those outlines animation are going, just like this. So just hold Alt to move this marker, just something like this, and then let's back to the main comp. Let's make a one here and just update markers from source, and it's going to give us where those animations are applied or the outlines. And then I'm going to add a new null object, and let's make these 3D and also this logo animation comp, and let's parent these to the null. So now we want to create a nice animation for this. So what I want to do here is keyframing these rotation, and I want that just in the middle here. I want to put all of these to 1. And in a few frames, we want that to hold. So we're going to have something like this. And maybe this is too big. Let's make this a little bit smaller, just right there, maybe 50. And then I'm going to animate only the X. So put this to 2. And let's add a keyframe there to hold that. Let's hold it just so a few frames, and then just right there I want to animate the Y, so put that to 2, and then I'm going to actually need to add another one here. and then I'm going to hold that for a while and then animate here this one. So I'm going to set there 3. So we're going to have something like this, and maybe at the last second, let's animate these. So the last second here, put these to 3. So the animation is actually up to you. So let's preview this. As you see, that's how it's going to look. And of course, we're going to add more animation. So I'm going to add orientation here, add a keyframe, and then set these to toggle hold keyframe. And then maybe just right here when it's animating, I want it basically here. And I want this to be facing this way. And then a few frames, and I'm going to set this back to 0. And so it's going just to change the orientation there. And I'm going to add position as well. So going to toggle these hold keyframe as well. And just a few frames, I want to just like zoom in these a little bit. So every few frames, zoom in a little bit. And maybe when it's animating here, rotating, I want to animate these. So I'm just going to zoom it, and then it's going to animate like that. So maybe this one, going to put it back. Something like this. And maybe here I'm going to add a keyframe and then change it back to toggle hold keyframe. So maybe when it's changed to fill, I'm going to put it back. Maybe here, going to zoom it again. So it's up to you. So I'm going to finish this animation first and then back to finish what we need to do. Okay, so the animation just should look something like this, and it's up to you how you want to be this animation looks like. So this is just the idea here. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to hit P for position and then click stopwatch to open this expression field and open bracket, set 0, 0, index, index, then close this bracket here. And so I'm going to duplicate these few times here. So as you see now, we have this 3D look here, and then as you see here, it's pretty cool and a little bit is faster. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add exposure here and set the exposure to -1, and just let's copy these and delete it from the first one and paste it except the last one. So just paste it there. So just to get a nice depth and shading there. So let's preview and see how this looks like. So that's what we got here. And so let's pre-compose now all of these. So I'm going to pre-compose these and let's rename these logo animation. And then I'm going to actually add another secondary animation here. So here actually we need to create some markers so we can bring them back to know where we have those animations. So maybe just these two I care about. Okay, so maybe just these two here. Okay, and so now I'm going to duplicate these two and make them 3D here. And so let's hit P to reveal their position. And so here I want to actually, at this time, I want to animate this. So maybe this is going to be plus 1000 and this one minus 1000. Something like this. And so I want to animate their position. So I want these to be right here and just reset that. So here we're going to have something like this. And then just right there, coming back to its position. Let's preview this. Maybe we want these to be a little bit longer here. And maybe even more than maybe 1500. Okay, that's look pretty cool. And let's trim these to duplicates and duplicate these one more time here. And so now we're just going to care about this one here. So hit P for position, and this time let's add a keyframes here. And so what I want to do here, I want actually to animate these on x-axis. So just something like this. You can be creative and animate it the way you want to. And maybe this needs to be for longer a little bit. And then when it turns to white or the fill, we want to get it back to its position. So let's preview all of these together. As you see, that's look pretty cool. So let's select all of these in pre-compose it, and let's rename these to logo animation 02 and hit OK. Okay, so now we have our logo animation here. And so all we need to do now is add in the glitch look to it. So here I have first, let's add these glitch sound here. So it's just a few glitch sound here. So these sound effects that I want to use with this glitch. So now let's create a new adjustment layer here, and let's rename these displace and apply displacement map. And as you know, this displacement map is for creating these glitch effects. And if you are interested to know more about how to create more different glitch effects, make sure to watch the previous tutorials. They are very useful for you guys. And so now what I want to do here, I have already created this glitch map that I want to bring here, and so I'm going to show you how I made this. It's very easy, and so let's preview it first. So as you see, it's just a random animation for these fractals. So as you see here, I just keyframe this fractal type and noise type and scale using hold keyframe. So every few frames you have a different one here, fractal and type, and sometimes you scale it up and so on. It's very straightforward to create. And so this map, I'm going to use it with this displacement map, so make sure to select glitch map. And so now we can have these cool effects, and here if we play around this, you can see we're getting a few different ones, but we want to have a control over these, and as well we want the sound actually to give us the value. So we're going to convert audio to keyframes so we get a nice displacement map. So let's get to displacement here and hold Alt to create expression here. And let's reveal this audio both channels here. And so I'm going to create a variable here, b equal, and just pick with these both channels, and then s equal, and this one is actually we need to create for a slider. So I'm going to create a new null object. Let's rename this controller and add a slider control here. Let's rename these to H glitches. And then I'm going to pick with these to this slider here. And then I'm going to multiply B and S. And now it's at 0, even if we change the values here, because the sound is not played yet. So let's actually first preview this. Okay, so as you see, we got few different glitches type, and also here we have the controller. So we can do the same thing here for these vertical one. So let's duplicate these and let's rename these to vertical. So V, and then I'm just going to copy these and paste it for this one, and just going to change here this slider. So this one is going to be this one here. It's going to be this vertical one. So now we have more control for both of them. So here I'm going to animate these. So let's say here it's going to be both from 0, hit U to see these, and then toggle hold keyframes, because we don't want the glitch to be just going on the whole animation. So now I'm going to animate these randomly, just depend on how I want the glitch to look, and then let's preview to see how this looks like. So as you see, you're going to get something like this, and you have all of our control keyframing these glitches, and the cool thing is driven by the sound effects we created. So and now we have all these created here. So what I'm going to do to make these look very good, I'm going to pre-compose all these, and so we're going to rename these logo glitch effects and hit OK. And actually now I want to create chromatic aberration, so Ctrl D to duplicate these, and then let's apply shift channels, and let's turn off these red and green, copy these, paste it to the second one. This time I'm going to have green here and then red. So here we take alpha from the red, and then we're going to change blending mode to screen for these two, and then I want actually this position for the red to be driven by the same animation we create here. So just copy these two and then paste them here, and now I want to create expression for this. So B equal, so let's put these right there. Actually, this is going to be S, and then let's put these to S, and this is going to be the B value equal. This is the amplitude here. These both channels, and then going to, let's make these to be actually V equal B multiplied by S, and then we're going to going to use wiggle expression. So we're going to put there 7, comma, V. And so now we're going to have something like this. Let's preview and see how this looks like. Okay, so we got something like this, very cool and quickly to create. And then I'm going to pre-compose all of these. And so let's rename these glitch chroma and hit OK and move all attributes. And now I want to add optic compensation effect here. And here, let's reverse the lens distortion, and so we can have some nice distortion effect here. So we want this to be anime as well, so just paste the audio amplitude and the controller here. So I'm going to add expression on this field, and we want to create here a variable b equal, and that's going to be both channels, just like we did, and then s, we want it to be used by the controller or by the slider here. And then I'm going to create another variable O equal B multiplied by S. And so we're going to have something like this, just actual crazy values there going on. And so we want to remap these values here. So we're going to use a linear expression here and then put here O. So it's the value we want to remap. So we want that to be from 0, the minimum, and the maximum. It's going to be 200, and remap that to 80 to have that set as the minimum, and then 100, maybe, and 30. So we're going to get something like this. So as you see, it's animate the values there, and the minimum is set there to 80. Let's preview and see how this looks like. Okay, that's how it's look, and you may notice that we have the audio just trimmed to this part. That's because that's when we generate this audio, we were generated just for the work area. So that's it. You can fix that layer, but still have the animation there. And so as you see now, we have all this set. And so what I'm going to do here, I want to add a value expression plus the linear. So now I want actually to have a value here. So I want to animate this. So maybe at start we want it to be there, add a keyframe there. And then maybe there I want it to just get right into place. Maybe put it to 0. And then just to have this animation. So now we can add the values if we want to in a specific timing there. And maybe at the end, we can have keyframe there and add maybe some there, just like this. And so now if we want to add any elements inside these glitch effects, for example here, I want to add a tagline for this logo here. I already have this title animation here, so I just want to add these. So I'm going to bring these just below displacement. And let's put it just, actually I did the logo holder, so here the title. And so right there, let's scale these down. So I want it to get into place. So right there. And here we have an animation of it, so I want it to look like it's revealing from the logo, so I'm going to add a mask there and then just invert the mask, and so it's going to get into place like that. And then I want to add a wiggle expression here to the position. So 4,5, let's copy these and add it to the logo as well. So we have some nice wiggle in there. And so let's preview this whole thing. Okay, that's look pretty cool. And so now we can actually just change here the logo and everything. It's going to looks right just as it should be. So let's give it a preview here. So this was the tutorial of today. Hope you get the idea and find this tutorial very useful for you guys. And if you have any questions, just comment and I will do my best to be responsive. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials coming soon. And thank you for watching.